Okay, so the first category that we're going to discuss is over here on the behavioral side. So what are some of the things that we're doing on our day-to-day basis that are affecting our ability to move into this optimal sleep quality and quantity? And the first one I want to talk about is just kind of this idea of reading and writing. So there are, I mean, these sound like very simple things, but if you're preparing for sleep, what we want to try and do is bring the body into a environment where we can more easily fall asleep. And if we're reading or writing or engaging in activities that are stimulating to our body, our nervous system, we can obviously upregulate and think about some of the news stories of the day, or maybe you're writing an email to your work colleagues and it's something that is very stressful. It's going to be a very upregulating. Whereas we can use these same things in a manner that will actually help promote better sleep. So we can be reading or writing or journaling in positive words, or in very calming, even like stimulating reading can upregulate. Likewise, if you're reading material that is kind of somewhat boring, that actually will help kind of bring your body into a tired space where you will fall asleep more easily. The next point I want to talk about is exercise. So I think it's been suggested that you try not to exercise within 2 hours of your bedtime, your sleep time, for obvious reasons, I think. But if you're doing strenuous activity, weight training, or a heavy, high intensity HIIT training kind of class, where we're going to elevate heart rate, we're going to elevate, so it's kind of a catabolic scenario where your body's releasing a lot of cortisol into into your system, you're going to have a harder time falling asleep. And so it's not to say exercise can't be productive. More mild forms of meditative type of exercise where it's light stretching and things can help promote better sleep, but it's just those kind of higher exercise bouts that we want to try and move earlier in the day so that we avoid some of that pitfall. The idea next of devices, so our phones and televisions, etc. But we've been talking a lot, you've probably heard this term, blue light. It comes from all of our screens, our digital screens, and it also kind of is tricking our body, our mind. All of these sources of light really, with all of these sources of light, it is very stimulating, and it can prevent your body, kind of coming back to this idea of circadian rhythm, of kind of tricking the body into thinking that we're still in daylight hours when truly we're at night, and we're trying to down regulate the body to promote better sleep. But it also plays into this reading and writing that I discussed earlier, where we're looking at emails and news through these devices that are also very stimulating. So really it is important to kind of, a couple hours, 90 minutes before you're planning on going to bed, really try and remove that from your habits, your behavior prior to sleep, to improve this optimal health. So the last thing I will mention on this one is the idea of naps. So there is a substance in the body called adenosine, and through the course of our day, as we're active, we get a buildup of adenosine in our system, and that buildup creates what's called sleep pressure. And sleep pressure is what we need to be peaking just prior to our laying down and going to sleep, to help promote a quick, easy access into sleep and begin the cycles, the stages of sleep. So napping, for those that are already getting good quality sleep, I think it's just fine. But for those that are struggling, having a difficult time falling asleep or staying asleep through the night, it would be recommended to avoid naps, and especially longer naps. sometimes a 20-minute, we'll call it a cat nap, where you're not truly moving through the 3 different cycles or 4 cycles of sleep, but rather just kind of allowing yourself a little bit of a mental break to recuperate. I would say that's probably just fine, but anything greater than 90 minutes, you're really going to reduce that adenosine buildup, that sleep pressure. So we want to try and again perform some of these different things to help promote better sleep.